Hey, what's going on guys? And in this video tutorial, we are going to be taking a look at the resizable interaction in jQuery UI. So if you've been following this entire tutorial for JavaScript for Beginners playlist, in the previous couple of videos, we've seen what are interactions in jQuery UI, and we've seen two different interactions, that is the draggable interaction and sortable interaction. So this is sort of like the third video under the jQuery UI interactions part. Previously, we were going through the widgets in jQuery UI, and before that, we were going through the jQuery core library. Before that, we were on basic JavaScript and vanilla JavaScript. So we've come pretty much very far in this tutorial series. I hope you are understanding everything so far in this entire tutorial series. If you are, drop a comment. Let me know in the video comments that you guys have understood things, and if you have any queries, you can always put them in the comments. Now, with that being said, let's start off with today's topic, that is resizable jQuery UI interaction. So a quick recap: interaction is the way you interact with the web page, the way you behave with the web page. And these jQuery UI interactions add extra features to the existing HTML elements onto the web page. So as the name suggests, the resizable interaction basically helps you add a resizable functionality to any HTML element. Now most probably it is used with images. So in this tutorial we'll work with images. As you can see, we have the entire template which has all the CSS and all the JavaScript libraries for the jQuery and jQuery UI. In the body, I have a h2 and I have a division named mydivs. Inside that I have an image with the ID of resize, and the source is a telescope image which is in the images folder. If you see the output, this is how it looks like, and right now you can see the image is very large, right? So we want a feature wherein we can resize this image. A lot of websites have resizable features wherein you can resize images, resize divisions and whatnot, So we are going to be applying this resizable feature, and right now you can see it is not applicable. I'm not able to resize the image, but it can be done in single line of code using the inbuilt jQuery UI method. So let's do that. So in the code, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the image using the ID. So it has to be hash resize. So that's the ID, and hash has to be used whenever we are using IDs. So that's how we go about selectors. We've already talked about selectors. I'm going to say dot, and the method name is resizable. Okay. So that's about it. Just by this one single line of code, that is this inbuilt method in jQuery UI, what you're doing is you're enabling resizability, and you can see there is a small icon over here, and if you just hover on it, the cursor changes to this resize icon, and now I can completely change this image and I can shrink it anyhow, but obviously the aspect ratio is getting changed, right? So the image is either becoming very flat or very compressed, and we don't want that. So we'll change that in a minute, but you can see that the resizability feature is added, and you can resize it anyhow. So now let's see the different options we have with this resizable interaction. So the options are supposed to be added in curly braces, just like for widgets and just like for other interactions that we've been doing. So I'm gonna just paste all the options over here. So the first two are max width and max height. So let me just uncomment this. I'm gonna give a width of 200 over here. Coming to the image, now if I try to enlarge this, you can see I cannot go beyond the max width, which is 500 pixel. Okay, and of course there would be some height also, but right now I have reached the max width and I cannot go beyond that. So this is that max width and max height property. I don't need to explain to you in detail. The name itself can actually give you exactly the proper idea about what exactly they're doing. So I'm just gonna comment it again. The next option is auto hide. So this auto hide feature hides that small icon over here. So when you hover on it, only then it is visible. If I comment it out, you can see that icon is always visible for that resizability. You can see this icon over here. If I say auto hide equals to true, it is not visible until and unless I hover onto this image. Okay. The next is ghost equals to true. So what this property does is, when you are shrinking or expanding, you can see a faded image also is shown over here. So that is that ghosting feature. If I just comment it out, you will not be able to see it. You'll see the entire image only expanding and contracting. So let's keep it on. There is one more option, that is distance. So this distance property says that whatever value is over here, until and unless you drag that much, it will not shrink or expand. So first I have to go 200 pixels wide, only then it will start expanding. You can see, until and unless I go 200 pixel, it will not expand. So I have to go 200 pixels and then it will expand. So this is a weird option. We don't usually use this. And the very important one is aspect ratio equals to true. So now our image is expanding and contracting in proper aspect ratio, and it is not becoming too compressed or too tall or too thin, right? It is maintaining the height and division in proper ratio. So that aspect ratio is maintained. So if you make this false, I can change the image in any aspect ratio and then the image becomes distorted, and we don't want that. Okay, so this was the resizability interaction in jQuery UI. Just by one line of code, you can add this to pretty much anything visible onto the HTML document. And usually it is used with images, so that's why I used images. You can use divisions, you can use heading tag, you can use pretty much anything that is visible and has a height and width, and you can add that resizability to that particular HTML element. Okay, so that's it for this video, guys. This was the resizable interaction in jQuery UI. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments how this video was. Do share it with your friends, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.